Baskets can bring a warm, cozy, and naturally rustic feel to any space in your home. Today, I'm going to show you how to change the look of them and make them beautiful high-end decor. Hey there, my name is Sandra, and you're watching The Schwowin's Nest. This is one of those old fishing baskets where there was a shoulder strap on it and you could take them fishing and then just pop your fish right into the little hole there. I just removed the lid. I'm not going to use that, but I am going to use that little leather strap and just make it a decor piece in front of the basket. Using some snips, I'm just going to break that front piece so I can slide out the strap. I'm going to feed the strap through the original buckle and then use a little bit of hot glue to tack the top in place. Since there are two holes on the back of this, I decided to grab this piece of belt that I bought at a thrift store a long time ago, and I'm going to cut a strip off of it and use that as a handle for my basket. Then I'm going to loop it through, and using a lot of hot glue, I'm going to push the two pieces together and use a clamp to hold it in place until the hot glue can dry. I'll repeat that step for the second part of the handle. There were some holes where the original shoulder straps were, so I just trimmed off some of the pieces from the lid, and I'm going to just hot glue those in place to camouflage those holes. It doesn't look perfect, but the basket is less than perfect itself, so it's going to look just fine. This is how the basket turned out, and I think it's going to look perfect for the spot I have for it on my front porch. I'm going to be adding some magnolia leaves and some magnolia flowers. The leaves I got from Temu, and if I can find the link, I'll share it with you down in my description box. I do not get a kickback from Temu, so this is just some shopping that I did by myself. I'm going to add them to these bamboo skewers to make it easier to put them in. I'm also going to be using the basket lid as somewhat of a support system for all of these branches, and a pool noodle. Nothing beats a pool noodle for making some florals stay in place. I glued some of these dollar store magnolia flowers onto the leaves. Some of them are going to stay plain, and I'm going to add some bamboo skewers to some of the magnolia flowers as well. I'm going to arrange them in such a way that it makes it look pretty for me. And then I'm going to add some little bits of greenery in here just to give it a little bit more texture and fill in some of the empty spots. This is the first piece of decor that I'm putting on my front porch for the spring and summer season. This little basket didn't come from the thrift store. I actually ordered it from an online store, and I wanted a really small one like this. Now, the picture showed me a totally different color, but as you can see, this is a beautiful shade of gold. We're going to have to fix that really easily with some spray paint. The color is called Espresso, and it's by Rust-Oleum. All I did was add a little bit of hanging greenery that I bent into the shape I wanted, and I think it looks great. I'm going to do something that I've never done before for this project. I'm going to coffee stain a couple of baskets. I grabbed this instant coffee from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to pour about a capful into this large bowl. Normally, you would use boiling water for instant coffee, but I ran my hot water really long. It does get really quite hot. So I thought that would probably be hot enough to dissolve the coffee, and it was. These are those little luncheon plate baskets that you use for paper plates at a picnic or an outdoor function. You can find these at the thrift stores all the time. So I've got two of them and I've got them fully immersed in the water, and I'm just putting this little dish on top to keep them underneath the water. They darkened up nicely, but unfortunately, they turned more of an orange brown, and it just wasn't a color that I was happy with. So while they were still wet, I tried a couple of different stains. That first, I tried the tall one there, the salmon stain in a dark gray, but that didn't turn out well at all. So, burnt umber it is. The plates are still a little bit wet, so that's going to work perfectly. And just dilute the burnt umber acrylic paint just enough to give them a deeper brown color. It turned out to be the perfect color that I was looking for, sort of a coffee colored stain. And I think if I would have done the burnt umber on the dry plates ahead of time without them being already stained, I don't think I would have achieved this color. So even though the coffee stain was a bit of a fail, these baskets turned out amazing anyway. I never stress about greenery and how it looks. I grab different pieces from dollar stores and Michaels and even off of Amazon. And I usually end up putting different pieces from different florals together to make what I want. So for example, this one is sort of like an herb looking greenery, but I wanted to have little tiny whitish flowers. So these little flowers came from a boxwood bush, and I never use little flowers on boxwood. So I'm going to take them off, and I'm just going to be gluing them onto this little herbal arrangement, and that's going to be the perfect accompaniment to this other basket that I purchased online. I've been showing you all sorts of brown tone baskets, and you can see that even on this one, I tried to stain it with my gray stain, but I decided that this one would ultimately look the best spray painted white. You could definitely paint all of these just with a brush and some paint. I happen to have all of these spray paint colors on hand, so I just thought that will be the quickest and easiest way to change the color and make them look much better than they are originally. One thing I have noticed when I thrift baskets, I always take a little smell of them at the thrift store, because if they've been in a smoker's home, they're going to be absorbing all of that smell. And then once you paint it or you add moisture to it, that smell is going to come out. So just make sure that you're being very careful as to which baskets you're picking up at the thrift store. I know I have done that with baskets and with some wood pieces. Once I've painted or stained them, the smell just comes out, and then I end up just throwing them away. So just do your due diligence. It may look a little funny if you are sniffing baskets at the thrift store, but I do it all the time. So go for it and make sure you buy one that's going to be good for you and not a waste of money. this basket is probably my favorite of this whole video. At first, I thought I was going to remove the front handle and use it as a hanging basket, but then I decided that I have a bunch of those already. I think I would prefer this one to be on the floor somewhere, just holding some decorative items, and then you could just pick it up really easily and move it to a different location. I'm using the same espresso spray paint from Rust-Oleum. It's in a satin finish, but this time I'm not going to go completely full coat like I did with that other small basket. I want some of this original color to peek through a little bit. So I'm just going to give it one light coat all the way around, a little bit on the inside, and I'm going to get the handles too, and then I'll show you how I styled it. I hope you enjoyed my video today and got some inspiration to create some naturally rustic baskets for your home. Maybe you've even got a couple that are sitting around and they just need a little bit of paint to make them look beautiful. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I truly appreciate it. Bye for now.